I am your prophetic voice, the watchman. This series has been so enriching because of the emails and messages and calls that we have been receiving. We want to thank God for every single one of you that is reaching out to us. It helps us to be able to, judge our feedback to see how much impact this work is having on you. And I pray that as this series continues, you will be so enriched that it will profit you in all ramification. I've been teaching on the subject of relationship, and I wanted you to know how expedient relationship is to man. God has not created us to live in isolation. We have not been created to function in isolation. There is no one that can make any great impact in life without quality, strategic relationship that God graced them with. And so, this day, I'm going to be opening us up to another dimension, although I've mentioned one or two things about these categories of people. And that is in the book of Judges chapter number 18, the people of Laish. In Judges chapter 18, the Bible says in verse 7, so the 5 men left and came to Laish, where they saw that the people were living in safety, like the Sidonians, unsuspecting and secure. And since their land lacked nothing, they were prosperous. Also, they lived a long way from the Sidonians and had no relationship with anyone else. They had no relationship with anyone else. It is dangerous for you to live your life in isolation. The Bible says that 2 are always better than 1. Even when Jesus was sending them out, he sent them out in 2s. Why? Because he knows that when one falls, the other one will lift him up. Because he understood the power of 2. And so these people had no relationship with any other nation. Sometimes our self-sufficiency can become our bane in life. It can become our most, vulnerable weakness. And I want you to know that it's important for you to learn the art of building, nurturing quality relationship, because you are strong as the relationship that surrounds you. So I want to ask you a question. How good are you in nurturing relationship? There are people who they don't even have. They complain and say they are introvert. And because they are introverts, they expect other people to pursue them. No. The Bible says anyone that wants friends must make himself friendly. Look at what happened to these people. The Danites wanted more territory, and they could not get any other territory apart from this particular set of people, the Laish. The Bible says they were unsuspecting, they were secure, they were prosperous, their land lacks nothing. Yet, they had no relationship with anyone else, and they lived far away from people, from the Sidonians. In verse 27 of that Judges chapter 18, verse 27 and 28, the Bible says, then they took what Micah had made and his priest and went on to Laish against a peaceful and unsuspecting people. Who told you that the fact that you have peace all around you, that war cannot come to your doorstep? Be careful of having so much sense of, look, I'm okay. I've built enough security around myself. Nothing can happen. No. Don't ever think like that, because you do not know what can happen. So it is important that you have your back covered. The Bible says Jesus found favor with God And he said, look, God is more than enough, but God knows that Jesus needed men. So the Bible says, what he found favor with men. He couldn't do it alone. He had to send and raise the 12 for himself to assist him in his day-to-day ministry. The Bible says they attacked them with the sword and burned down their city. There was no one to rescue them because they lived a long way from Sidon. There was no one to rescue them because they lived a long way from Sidon and had no relationship with anyone else. They lived a long way from Sidon. They lived far away from where they could call for help, and they had no relationship with anyone else. We are built for community. We are built for community. We are built for relationship. We are a social people, and God expects you to cultivate the art and the habit and the attitude of what? Of pursuing quality relationship. Let's see something in the book of 2 Samuel. 2 Samuel chapter number 21. Let us see what would have happened to David during the battle if he had no soldiers, comrades, that backs him up. This is the anointed servant of God, David, the warrior of Israel. In the book of 2 Samuel chapter 21, verse 15, once again there was a battle between the Philistines and Israel. David went down with his men to fight against the Philistines, and he became exhausted. Do you know that along the line you can be tired? You can be exhausted. Who will help you? Who will assist you when you become exhausted? If you had no relationship with anyone else, if you have no covenant friends, no covenant covering, no covenant relationship. The Bible says, and Ishbi, Beno, one of the descendants of Rapha, whose bronze spearhead weighed 300 shekels and who was armed with a new sword, said he would kill David. He vowed that he would kill David. David was already exhausted in the battlefield. But Abishai, son of Zeruiah, came to David's rescue. He struck the Philistine down and killed him. Who will come to your rescue? Who can you call in the middle of the night when something happens suddenly? Do you have friends that you can call? Do you have your own company? The Bible says David's men swore to him, saying, never again will you go out with us to battle, so that the lamp of Israel will not be extinguished. Neither again will you go out with us in battle. David had backup. Do you have backup? Do you have quality relationship? If you press your phone, the number of the 10 people that you usually converse with, how close are they to you? How strategic are those relationships with you? It is important that you start building strategic, powerful relationship, because you are strong as your community of friends. I have once again your prophetic voice, the watchman, Kingsley, if you want. God bless you.